This is a little bit different. I am so excited about you being able to spend some time with one of our DTDT coaches, because doing the damn thing is not just about like, hey, let me just jump right into it. This particular conversation between our Do the Damn Thing coach, our master story master, I should say, Jerrica Dodd, and one of our relentless partners, Nikki Rogers, is something out of a book. If you are in the space of saying, well, how do I combat fear? How do I dig deeper and further than I've ever dug before? I want you to listen to this private training that she did for our collective community. And I felt like it was only right for me to bring it to the surface because I knew that it would serve the person who was trying to figure out, how do I get from where I am to where she is? $250,000 down the road, $500,000 down the road, and fighting fear faster than ever before. This is going to be delicious. She's going to tell you what she did, how she did it, and the Jerrica Dodd is going to lay down the foundation for you to do the damn thing now. Hey you, welcome to Build the Damn Thing, a place where myself, Tiffany Largy, and our amazing Do the Damn Thing coaches show you how to use your story to build it all. Whether it's your first six figures, your next layer of multiple six figures, or maybe you're on your way to $1 million. And if it's not that, it's the life of your dreams, where you are free, you are strong, and you are whole. First, we're going to show you how to use your story to build a strong foundation. And then next, we're going to show you how to use your story in sales and marketing to clean up the cracks. And last but not least, we're going to show you how to use your story to gather people. Because truth of the matter is that there's nothing stronger than being connected to people who just understand you as you are, where you are, so you can stop explaining yourself. I want to remind you that now that you're here, you are home, and I officially welcome you to our family. All right, let's get started.
Welcome to your Friday edition of the Daily Hustle. It's Friday, and I am so excited that you're here. I'm Jerrica, your DTDT coach, and it has been my pleasure to get ready for today because we have another guest speaker from the Relentless Mastermind Group. Nikki Rogers is with us today, and Nikki is going to school us. And she will also have a takeaway or an action item for you to do in your homework. So if you would please join me in welcoming Nikki Rogers.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here with you all today and looking forward to a great conversation. And just want to get started. So today I am going to be talking to you all about a couple of things. So I really focus on thriving in business. That is the thing that I like to focus on, and the ways that I think thriving in business actually happens. So that's what I want to talk to you all about today. So I'll share with you what my definition of thriving in business is, as well as talk to you about the key topics I think are important, which are around mindset, vision, and strategy. And then we'll have time at the end for some questions. Does that sound great to everyone?
That sounds good.
And then hold on one second, Jerrica, because of the way I am logged in, I don't think you all are seeing me. I think you're just seeing the picture of me. So hold on just one second.
Okay, so I can see you live.
Okay, you see me live in big picture.
Kathleen says she sees you.
Okay. So
everybody can see the live Nikki and not the picture Nikki. I want to make sure before we get going. Okay. Yep. Okay. They say they see you live.
Perfect. All right. That's just my challenges over here. So I want to share with you my definition of thriving in business. So it is, three key components of it. It is that you understand the levers that create predictable and sufficient income in your business. So I say predictable and sufficient because a lot of folks, especially when they start out in their businesses, they're making, $5, $10, $100, maybe even $500, maybe $1,000 here and there, but that's not sufficient to actually meet whatever their needs or wants are. So when I talk about thriving in business, is that you're making predictable and sufficient income. The second piece is that you're working in your purpose and your business supports your life, and not the other way around, that you're giving your life to the business, but the business actually supports your life. And number three, this is most important. If you're starting off a business, it's your business, you're the boss, you should love the people you work with. And that means whether it's clients, it's staff, it's the vendors that you choose, you should love the folks that you are working with. That to me is really the key and number one thing to think about as you think about how you actually thrive in business, is that you should be surrounded by people that you love working with. So those are my three key definitions around what thriving in business really means. And I would say I started my business a little over 4 years ago. And when I started it, honestly, my goal was just to leave corporate America and go out and do my own thing. And that sounds great in theory, right? But when you get outside those doors, when you have been used to being an employee, there is this shift that actually needs to happen. And you actually have to shift into that entrepreneurial mindset, that CEO mindset. And it's hard. It's a challenge. It's lonely out here, right? And so one of the things that I really relied on around developing that entrepreneurial mindset, that CEO mindset, I focused in on three areas. One was around courage. And this courage part was like, courage, first of all, the definition of courage doesn't mean that you're fearless. It actually means that you feel the fear and you do it anyway. You need to acknowledge the fear, because, even those folks who jump out of airplanes for a living, it's not that they don't get scared when they do it. It's just they figured out how to overcome that fear. And so when you're stepping out as an entrepreneur, I think really leaning into that courage part, acknowledging the fear, even documenting them. I have a whole talk where I talk about how you can actually document your fears, recognize where they come from, and then what you need to do about them. But you really have to acknowledge that fear and then decide that you're going to do it anyway. The second piece was confidence. And I think of confidence as really trusting yourself, is self-trust. It really starts with you. Do you believe that you can do what you say you're going to do? You have to believe it before you can convince anyone else. And my great example of this is when I was quitting my job and my husband said to me, are we going to have to tighten our belts? Are we going to have to cut out on some expenses and all these things? And I was very confidently said, absolutely not. We're going to be able to maintain our current lifestyle. And as I was saying that, I had absolutely no idea how we were going to do this, but I was confident that we would. And it was almost like I made this promise to myself, and I've been able to live up to that promise. And so I had to be confident myself before I can convince him. And so you have to do that on a daily basis, whether you have to convince your family members, your friends, and don't spend a lot of time on this, but more than likely, you also have to be convincing to the clients and customers that you want to attract. You have to be confident. You have to trust yourself that you can do it, that you can be successful, and that you can, support your clients and customers in a way that is going to help them be successful as well. And the third piece of the CEO mindset is curiosity. So you have to be super curious about the things that you do not know. And there are going to be a lot of them. There are a lot of them. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. So you have to be curious about the things that you don't know, the people that you don't know, how to do the things that you want to do. And that doesn't always mean that you have to do them yourself, but being really, really curious about how you can get the thing you want to get done. And that doesn't matter whether it's getting your business registered, becoming a government contractor. I know Cliff talked to you all earlier this week about that. Whether it's creating, some software platform that you need, or it's how do you manage your clients? How do you onboard clients? How do you do invoicing? How do you do payroll? I mean, all those things that are kind of the mundane things in business, but get curious about those. And then, for the larger, broader visionary things, how do you get published? How do you get press? How do you get connected to that number one client that you're going after? Get curious about how you're going to do these things instead of seeing them as obstacles. Just get curious. So my 3 things around mindset: courage, confidence, curiosity. Second key piece around thriving in business is your vision for your business. So here, I want you to think about what is your what and what is your why. And so what it is that you actually want to see out in the world as a result of the business that you're creating. And then what's your why behind that? So the why could be why you want to impact the world, but it also could be the why of why you're creating a business. Is it that you want to create generational wealth? Is it that you want to leave a legacy? Is it you want to provide an example to your children, to your family, to your friends, to your broader community, that the type of thing that you're doing can be done? So really get invested in and understand your what and your why. And I would say the what is what shows up in the world, and the why is like what gets you out of bed in the morning. So your what and your why is a part of your vision. And in that, you also have to understand what your hurdles are in achieving that vision. And I use the word hurdles because if you have ever watched a track meet and you see people running and they're jumping over hurdles. So hurdles can be jumped over. You can go under them. If you've seen the example of what a hurdle looks like, you can go under it, you can go around it. So I like to talk about hurdles versus, say, barriers or challenges, because when you think about a hurdle, there's multiple ways to overcome that hurdle. So if you think about what are all the things that are possibly preventing you from executing on your vision, once you, again, acknowledge them, you recognize them, and then you can start to put a plan together of how you can overcome them. The third part of vision is resources. So we all have an abundance of resources available to us. And that is no matter what your situation is. And resources are not just financial resources. This is the people that are around you. This is the infrastructure. This is government resources that are here to help you as a small business owner. There are universities. There are just a number of resources that are available to you. But start closer to home. What is it that you have available within your close connections that can help you overcome the hurdles that you identify? So if you really, again, start to sit down and think through these things, most of the time you can find the answers or the solutions to your challenges are really easier to access than you may have thought before. So that's around vision. And again, you can spend time thinking through each one of these components. And I encourage you to do that, is really to spend some time. And I'll give you a homework challenge per Jerrica's permission, to really think about your vision. What is your what and your why? What are some of the hurdles that you're facing? And then what are the resources that you have available to you? And then I would say the third piece I want to touch on is around strategy. So when I think about strategy, it has 3 components to it. So one is looking at your goals. So these are the things that you can quantify, that you can measure. What are the goals that you're seeking to reach over the next, you can say 90 days, 6 months, 1 year? Write those goals down. And then I want you to take a close look at yourself and your business. So I talk about goals. So as a part of strategies, there's a goal setting, and then there's an assessment. And that assessment is that truthful look at where you are right now. And I would say to people who don't want to kind of uncover these things or really take a close look, if you don't take a close look at where you are now, it's almost impossible to get to your next stage in order to accomplish your goals, because you don't know where you're starting from. And so if you think about a strategy is like how you get to where you want to go. The goals are the end state. If you think about, say, if you're taking a trip, the goal is your destination. The assessment is where you are right now. So how can you ever achieve your goals if you don't know where you are right now? So take a close look at yourself, your business. I like to do a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. There are all sorts of analysis and assessments that you can take out there. You can do a competitive landscape assessment. You can do a financial assessment. All these different assessments just give you information that you can use. And it's a starting point. Even if it's not as you would wish it right now, even if it seems like it's you're in the, the good, bad, ugly part of your business, and you're in the bad and the ugly part, you think that's where it is. It's information that you can use. And 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you can actually look back at that assessment and just see how far you've gone. But that assessment is really, really important. And then finally, the plan. So if we're going on this, still this metaphor, going on a trip, the goals being the destination, the assessment being where you are right now. The plan is how you get to your goals. So the plan is how you go through those twists and turns, how you avoid the tolls, avoid the accidents, whatever it is that you need to do in order to achieve your goals. That's what the plan is for. So strategy piece, goals, assessment, and plans. And so, as we think about, again, what it means to thrive in business, these 3 pieces are what I consider the most important parts to help you get to that definition of thriving. And like I said, I provided you my definition. You may have a different definition, but these 3 things, the mindset, the vision, and the strategy, are what I think it really takes in order for you to get to that thriving point, no matter how you define it. And I will say this with strategy and all these things, with the mindset, the visioning, and strategy, that's great. But if you don't execute on it, then you just spend a lot of time thinking, right? And so one of the great exercises I like to do is really sit down on, maybe a monthly or quarterly basis and think about what it is that I want to start, what I want to stop, and what I want to continue as it relates to the goals that I've set and the vision that I've established. So I would invite you, this will be part 2 of your homework, is to sit down and think of in each of these categories, what are 2 things that you want to start, 2 things that you want to stop, and 2 things that you want to continue that will help you on your journey toward your vision. So I will share that in Discord. That will be homework number 2 for you. But that is really what I wanted to talk about here with you all today. So I would love to hear questions, comments. One question I would ask you, what is your definition of thriving in business? And we can start from there.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. While we are letting the chat have a chance to populate with questions or the answer to your question, what is your definition of thriving? I just want to say thank you again for sharing with us and giving some perspective. I can truly identify when you talked about courage and confidence and curiosity. I apologize. I did not put it in the chat as a noun, but curiosity. And I think that is definitely that perfect mix of what you need in business, because it does take courage, because you're right. I still make decisions today that I feel the fear and I have to acknowledge that, but I still have to keep moving forward. And it does take a level of confidence, and confidence that I think you can't try to look for from other people to give you as assurance, or because if you're looking for people to pat you on the back and, say, go, 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 that's not always going to be there. So you have to have some self-confidence and
Right.
definitely curiosity, because I think curiosity breeds creativity, breeds, outcomes and new things in the market. So I love that part of what you were sharing, all of what you shared. Avis and Kathleen, do you have any response to Nikki's question to you on how do you define thriving in business? What does that look like to you?
I love it. Kathleen says, a business that feeds my soul and provides a valuable service for my clients and finances that meet the needs of my business and my needs. I love it. Business that feeds my soul. I love it.
Right. I think if you ever find yourself in a business that's not feeding your soul, I think the thing that I would ask is this a temporary feeling, or is it really time for a major change?
Exactly. And so two things, going back to your comment about if you're seeking validation from friends and family, one, often your friends and family don't understand what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And or they don't understand the potential impact for it. They want you to be safe. They want you to be, unless you come from a family of entrepreneurs or people who jump out of planes, they want you to be safe, right? They're concerned about you.
Right.
So, and sometimes that concern shows up as discouragement. And so don't let those people who are closest to you be your barometer for whether or not you should be in the business that you're pursuing. So I do want to share that.
Right.
And, the comment about feeding your soul, I've been in business for 4 years, and now, I was literally sitting in a client meeting the other day and I said, this is not the kind of client I want anymore. And so that was that was a scary thought, right? And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm in business for myself. I can choose. And so, yeah, we can always choose.
Right.
So Eva says,
I think that the other comment about you saying, oh, go ahead. I think we might have a little bit of lag in the internet. I was saying the other comment that you made about family wanting to keep you safe, our brains are also wired to keep us safe. So if it's not your family, your internal, whatever you say to yourself, your brain will do its absolute best to keep you safe as well. And you'll start thinking like different sets of thoughts. You'll have the thoughts of, yes, I'm ready to go out and do this. But then you'll have the other set of thoughts of, I don't know, what if I get hurt? What if I fail? What if? And I think that's our brain, our reptilian brain, trying to keep us safe too.
Exactly. Avis has her definition of thriving is operating in my purpose to leave a thriving legacy as an example to the world that it can be done, of living your truth in business on your own terms. I love that. Love it, love it, love it.
Yes.
To your point about the reptilian brain, right? One of my girlfriends is a trauma surgeon. And so I just think of nothing I do today is going to determine whether someone lives or dies. But she has to make those kinds of decisions all the time. That's what she does for a living.
Right.
She makes life or death decisions. Right. And she's able to do that. So I should be able to figure out whether I'm going to pick what font I'm going to pick today, right? Or what I'm going to post today, or whether or not I'm going to make this call to someone who is a potential customer. Like, those things are not life or death, but they feel in our kind of our psyche, they feel like life or death. Like, what if they tell me no? Well, no is not someone dying, so I kind of keep my friend as my North Star. Like, okay, whatever I do today is not going to be catastrophic. So I should just do it.
Mhm. Yeah, I used to say, I'm not going to lose my life or my health by making this decision. So it's okay to make the decision. And if for some reason I have made the wrong decision, then I just need to turn around and go the other way.
Mhm. Yes. Do a U-turn.
Yes, just because you make a decision doesn't mean you're stuck there forever.
Right. You can choose again. That's one of the things we can always choose again. If we're alive, we get to choose again.
Right. And what action item did you want to offer for the group to complete?
So two things. Really sit down and think about your vision. So what is your what and your why? What are any hurdles that you're facing around that vision? And then what are the resources that you have available to you? And that may require you doing a little bit of research. So getting curious, right? What are the resources that you have available to you? And then the second homework item is to think about 2 items that you want to start, 2 things that you want to stop, and 2 things that you want to continue as it relates to working through your vision or towards your vision.
Will you repeat your first set of questions so I can capture those in the chat?
Yeah, actually, I will put them in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make it easy. Any questions from the group?
So what happens from here, if there are no questions on the line, is I will take the replay link and I will post it in the Boss Collective under replay. So there may be people who will catch the episode of this Daily Hustle from a replay. And the group will put their answers to your questions in the homework help channel of Discord under the Boss Collective. And if you want to check in later today and see answers to those homework questions, you can. And I can't wait to have you come and join us again to share even more of your expertise and your experience in your business walk. Okay, thank you. I see those in the chat. And so I'll give them a chance to see those, and I'll make sure that they also show up when anyone sees the replay.
Great. And thank you all for joining. This has been great. If you have questions that show up afterward, let me know. I will definitely check out your answers to the homework in Discord. And yeah, let me know what you'd like to hear the next time I come back. I have a couple of things I can talk about. I can talk about fear. I can talk about, doing a deep dive on any of the things that we talked about here, doing visioning. So let me know what you all would like to hear during our next noontime session.
All right. Well, I'm excited. And when you gave me your list in the beginning of the topics you could talk about, I was like, yes, all of those. So, so I really do appreciate you sharing your Friday afternoon with us. And again, we'll head over to Discord and continue the conversation there. We can ask any questions there. And then also as well, anyone who catches the replay will know to put any comments in Discord too.
Great.
So thank you very much, Nikki. It was our pleasure to have you join us. And thank you for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. And we can't wait to see you again to hear even more from you.
Yes. Well, thank you for the invitation. And I look forward to future discussions.
Okay. Take care and thank you.
Bye. Have a great
Bye.
weekend, everyone.
I hope that episode was amazing for you and you are closer to building the damn thing. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts were, what part you loved, and the action that you're gonna go take, because the truth of the matter is that the person who wins is not the person who gets there first, it's the person who takes action first. Now, I've got a gift for you, and it is at www.stracthustle.com. It is imperative that you run there and you see all types of goodies, starting with the 7 must-haves that you've got to put when telling your story. There is so much deliciousness awaiting for you. I would love nothing more than for you to go ahead and give us a thumbs up and a 5-star review on not just this episode, but this entire series of how do you build the damn thing. Like always, if there's anything that we can do to make your week, day, or month better, please let us know. And more importantly, I can't wait to see you live. Whether it's at Do the Damn Thing Live or in one of our communities, or maybe you're just hanging out with us on social media. What I know to be true is that I am meant to connect with you somewhere, and I can't wait for that day to happen. And more importantly, I can't wait to see what you build.